Hey everyone, for those of you guys who are new here, my name is Shaun Andersen and I'm a second year medical student here in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I've gone back and forth about making this video for a while now. As someone who primarily vlogs, I tend to show a lot of what I am doing, but I'm not always good about showing how I'm feeling, especially when it comes to my own personal life events or insecurities. One of those insecurities was the comfy weight that I started to put on during medical school. When I started medical school, I weighed about 155 pounds. And then at one point during medical school, I weighed in at 169 pounds. A lot of people would tell me, Shaun, that's not that bad. You still seem pretty athletic, like you're still doing all the tricking and tumbling and everything. But it's important to remember that everyone has different goals and reasons why they want to change things about themselves. I know that there are a lot of people who have gained and lost a lot more weight than I did, and I think those people are absolutely incredible. But this video is about my own personal experience and the reason that I did this for myself. So for some perspective, my peak athleticism was during my first few years of college when I was flying out to the East Coast and doing shows for months at a time.
Shaun Andersen!
I was literally doing shows every single day. I was doing all the flips and tricks. I was running up the trampoline walls. I was having such a great time, and I was seriously in the best athletic shape of my entire life. At that time, I weighed about 145 to 150 pounds. It was all relatively lean muscle mass. I was pushing my body to its boundaries. I was, discovering what I could do physically every single day. It was such an awesome time of my life. In 2017, I broke my leg, and that was when I started doing a lot less tumbling and tricking, and I started focusing a lot more on school and my newly found goal of becoming a physician. I was still training tricking and tumbling pretty frequently throughout that time, but it was definitely a lot less often. Then when COVID-19 happened and I started medical school, I was tricking only every 2 to 3 months or so. In addition, I wasn't going to the gym at all during that time, and I literally wasn't doing like any form of exercise. So this decrease in physical activity, physical ability, and increased amount of sedentary behavior I was having was really taking a toll on my body, my perception of myself, and I just wasn't really feeling good about it. Now, most of the weight that I was gaining was definitely during when COVID-19 started and when I was going into my second year of medical school. And it was a combination of not exercising very much, spending all time studying indoors. I was playing video games at the end of my days to relax and unwind, and I was eating a lot of fast food. Now, I'm not lying when I say that during my first year of medical school, I was eating fast food mostly every single day. I was barely ever grocery shopping. If I did have a grocery shopping kick, it'd be for maybe a few days or a week at a time, but it was literally fast food almost every single day for the entire first year, even going into the summer after my first year of medical school. Fast food was just so quick. It didn't take a lot of time from studying to go pick something up. I saw it as a treat for when I was done studying after a long day. And it got to the point where literally someone commented on one of my YouTube videos, because again, I vlog everything, I vlogged every day. And someone commented, they were like, Shaun, you look like you're eating a lot of fast food. You shouldn't be eating out so much. You should be, making food at home, getting groceries. And they were totally right. But the stress of adapting to medical school made it so that I wasn't prioritizing myself. I wasn't prioritizing my physical health, my mental health, any of that kind of stuff. I was just focused on studying, and again, I was just letting myself go because of it. The summer after my first year of medical school, I decided I was gonna start building better habits because I had the extra free time, so I did what I needed to do, and I got a gym membership. Welcome back to the vlog. So right now, I am on my way to do something that I've wanted to do for several months now, which is buy a gym membership. Throughout that summer, I was actually pretty good about going to the gym. I didn't really have a regimen or anything. I just wanted to show up because showing up to the gym was better than not going to the gym at all. And I also started doing a couple other things like rock climbing, which was definitely making me feel better about my physical abilities. However, my eating habits did not change at all. I didn't see any change in my physique. I even had a birthday party this past summer. It was a pool party, and I was definitely self-conscious about taking my shirt off because I felt like it was obvious that I was had a little bit more comfy weight than I had during undergrad, for example. Even my mom was like, Shaun, you've put on weight. That classic, brutally honest Indian mom. So fast forward to August of this past year, school came back in and I dropped the gym habits. I stopped going because again, I was focusing on school. And then when September came around, I weighed in at my all-time heaviest of 169 pounds. And that was when I decided I was done. I was sick of it. I was tired of putting myself second to school, and I was tired of my self-esteem declining because of this. So this is when two very important things happened. I changed my eating habits and I changed my exercise regimen. So at the time, a close friend of mine was trying a keto diet and he was seeing some results. He had lost some weight, and so he recommended that I try something similar. And at the time, my diet was mostly high carb, very low protein, so I figured why not, let's try it. However, for me, I felt like keto was a little bit too extreme. I decided I was gonna go with more of a low carb diet where I would consume anywhere from 20 to 50 grams of carbs per day, because 20 to 50 grams of carbs per day definitely gave me a good range to play in and wasn't as extreme as going as something like keto. So the goal was to do low carb 4 to 5 days per week rather than every single day. Now the reason for this is that I am a big believer that when you try to make too drastic of changes in your day-to-day lifestyle, you're more likely to drop the habits and quit. For example, look at New Year's resolutions where people start off the new year, day one, with like an intense gym regimen and an intense diet where they're eating like salads and stuff, and then eventually they drop it because there's such a drastic lifestyle change that it's just not something you can practically keep up with. So I knew that I needed to give myself some leeway, so 4 to 5 days per week of low carb was pretty good. Furthermore, I'm a guy in his 20s and in medical school, so I tend to go out for like a lot of social settings and dinners with friends and all that, and I didn't want to limit those social interactions just because of my diet, so I felt like that gave me that leeway that a couple times per week I could still go out, eat whatever I wanted, and it was totally fine. And our school tends to cater a lot of food for us, and I didn't want to miss out on free food because of course I'm a broke medical student, so why would I give up free food? Now the first week of low carb was extremely difficult, and the reason for this was I was just not ready for it. I literally did not have the right groceries at all. I had breads, rices, ramens, a bunch of junk food. I had like nothing that was like high protein, low carb. I just was not ready for it. So the first week was more like I was like starving myself. Like it was low everything. It was low carb, low protein, low fat, low calorie, and I did not feel good. I was super like fatigued, under the weather. But then towards the end of the first week, I started figuring out what foods were really good. Like I started eating a lot of eggs, those Morningstar sausage patties. I started having a lot of protein shakes, chicken and vegetables. And I also started to find out what fast food options were really good for high protein, low carb, such as the Chipotle salad bowls, where you can, get rid of the rice and the beans and have double meat, or even the Taco Bell power bowls where you do the exact same thing because again, high protein, low carb, it was great. I started to notice how I didn't feel bloated after my meals. I felt satisfied but not stuffed. I didn't have to take like naps after I was done eating because I had like, the sugar spike and then I was crashing. I started to just feel absolutely incredible. And then starting the second week, I knew it was time to start adding exercise. Now in the past, my exercise habits always fell through because I never had like a specific time of day that I was going to the gym. I would just say I want to go to the gym, but then I'd end up wanting to study more, of course, so I just would sacrifice going to the gym, and then it was just this vicious process of me just not going to the gym and studying all day. So this time, I started going to the gym at a time where I could no longer make that excuse, at night. Regardless of how much studying I did during the day, I was always done by 8 or 10 p.m., so every single day after I was done studying for the day, I went to the gym regardless of how late it was. And I was going to the gym for 2 to 3 hours every single night. My exercise goals were not very specific. I knew I wanted to lean out, I wanted to lose some body fat, and I wanted to gain a little bit of lean muscle mass. Now admittedly, my gym routine was a little bit intense. I would start every single gym session with an hour-long incline treadmill walk with an incline of 13 at a speed of 3. Now this workout was actually a TikTok trend for a while, and I can totally see why. It was absolutely insane. A speed of 3 is basically walking pace, so it's something that is very easy to maintain, but the incline and the duration is really what would burn the calories. Like after an hour, I was burning about 650 calories. It felt like I was literally hiking, which I liked because I wanted a functionality with my exercising. Like I like hiking, so it was actually making me better at hiking. And again, I was going for an hour. I would just throw on a TV show and I would just go for it. And to this day, I still start every single gym session with this incline walk. After the treadmill, I would lift for about an hour to an hour and a half of whatever muscle group I was working out that day. It was very non-specific. I didn't really have like a specific regimen. I just wanted to make sure that I was lifting every single day. Now at this point, the gym regimen was actually pretty good, and between the diet and the exercise, I dropped down to about 160 to 162 pounds after about 2 weeks. However, at this time, I discovered a new goal and passion. I decided I wanted to get good at running. A few classmates of mine signed up for a 5K, and I decided not to sign up because I've always been very bad at running. Historically, I've just never been able to run even like a fourth of a mile. Like I would get the abdominal stitches, back pain, shortness of breath. I was just always really bad at running. And so I decided I was tired of it, so I added running to the end of every single one of my gym sessions. It started off as just 1 lap at the end of the session, and then eventually I was doing 2 laps, 3 laps, and then after about a week, I hit my first mile, and then just 2 days later, I hit 2 miles, and by the end of the second week, I had run a 5K or 3.1 miles. At this point, I was absolutely addicted. I looked forward to running at the end of all my gym sessions. I was doing anywhere from 1 to 3 miles per session every single day, and then eventually I busted busted out 12K or 7 miles. Now this was a huge accomplishment for me after only about 3 weeks of running because again, I never thought that I could run that much. I could barely run a fourth of a mile just a couple weeks before, and I was seriously feeling so good about myself. After I'd started running is when I started to see some of the biggest changes in my weight and my physique. I started to like really tone out, I started to lean out, especially my legs, and I dropped down to about 155 pounds. Now what I didn't mention earlier was that 155 pounds was my goal weight to start training tricking seriously again. My first session back at the gym at 155 pounds was absolutely incredible. I hadn't felt so good in so long whenever I did my tricks because the previous sessions were at about 10 pounds heavier. I was feeling confident in my tricking, and more importantly, I was feeling more confident in myself again. I kept up with my dietary habits, gym routine, running, tricking and tumbling, and eventually I hit my all-time lowest at 151 pounds. At this point, I decided I was within my goal range of about 150 to 155 pounds. If I can stay within that range while maintaining pretty lenient dietary habits and getting physical activity most days, then I am very happy. And that's it. That was basically my journey of gaining some comfy weight, coming to terms with it, and deciding to make a change. Like I said earlier, I'm a big believer in being lenient. I decided I wanted to make changes to my lifestyle, but I didn't want to be miserable. So I still have a couple days a week that I eat, whatever I want, however much I want. There's a few days a week that I skip the gym, but again, it's okay because at baseline, I am happier, I'm healthier, I feel better, I can perform better, like my physical activity levels are so much higher now than they were before, and I've just overall built a lot better habits. And again, I am much happier now because of this. Sorry if this video was really long, but I really appreciate you guys watching it. If you have any questions about this entire thing, please comment down below. I know this was a little bit different from my previous videos. Again, I was really hesitant. A lot of this progress was between September and October, and now it's December and I'm just getting to posting it. So again, that's how hesitant I was. It's just so different. It's a little bit more, vulnerable. I was a little bit insecure about this, but again, my whole channel is about showing my experiences as not just a medical student, but also as a human being. So I felt that this was important to share. Anyways, that's all for now. Thank you guys so much again for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.